Welcome to the Daily DLP. I'm your host, Ash Thompson, and today I'm giving you my gut reaction to the Lions' loss to the Packers at home on Thanksgiving Day. Let's get it on. So, according to the internet, I'm supposed to do one of two things here to generate engagement. I'm supposed to be either unrealistically optimistic and make a bunch of excuses and talk about how great everything is and it's gonna be fine, guys. Or I should tell you that the sky is falling, that the team's in danger of losing their grip on the season, and that we've seen this before. Well, I'm not going to do either of those things. Because, well, frankly, I don't care about engagement. 29 of 44 for 332 yards and 2 touchdown passes with no interceptions. But this was still not a good day for Jared Goff. Nobody really ever talks about quarterback fumbles as a differentiator statistic in the NFL. They just focus on the touchdown to interception ratio and just focus on the passing. And if they mention rushing stuff at all, it's yardage and touchdowns with no real balancing to it. They'll ignore something like the fact that Josh Allen coughs up double-digit fumbles a season fairly regularly, that Stafford did that Goff has done that. And of course, the rest of what Allen does obviously makes up for that. I'm not talking about Josh Allen not being a really awesome quarterback. It's just something that never really gets mentioned in the normal conversation about quarterbacks. But Jared Goff fumbled 3 times. And that is why the Detroit Lions lost. Now, 2 of those were hits while he was throwing the ball. The other was a scramble, which, dude, you were not a scrambling quarterback. Just slide. Run until anyone gets within 5 yards of you, and then just hit the dirt. Don't take hits, because if you get injured, the season is over. And because you don't run the ball very often, nothing good is going to come of you getting hit. Slide. And Goff didn't get the job done today. You can't fumble 3 times, but he had plenty of help. The Lions threw the ball 44 times. The Packers had pressure on 20 plays. That is completely unacceptable. That's some bottom of the barrel caliber stuff right there. The Lions' offensive line failed early, they failed often, and it was all of them. Nobody had a great day by my eye test watching it live. Packers have been really good at hiding their blitzes. They've had a really diverse blitz package all season. And they didn't really have to do that today. They were a lot of times just beating the Lions' offensive tackles. It's the supposed strength of a team. It's supposed to be one of the best position groups in the NFL. And today, that disappeared. They were absolutely not that. But it also doesn't stop there. The team gets into the red zone. Failed running play. Failed running play. Failed screen pass. Is this the red zone offense of a supposed NFL-level genius play caller? Ben Johnson may be the hottest head coaching candidate in the NFL, but I think he just turned down the temperature on that one because owners were watching this game. GMs were definitely watching this game. And that wasn't great. The crosser J-Mo was there all day, but the Lions are still just using him to clear out space for slow receivers and tight ends. 2 crossers, 25.5 yard average. I'm curious how many of them they actually ran, so I'll be checking that on the All-22 when it comes out at some point. And that'll be part of the By the Numbers show that I'll do next week. I said before the game that the Lions needed to do a really comprehensive self-scout, and they needed to figure out what the Bears did and then figure out what parts of that the Packers were going to be able to emulate. That was on both sides of the ball. If you look at the play where DJ Moore ran into the end zone for a deep touchdown last week. And then you look at the play today where Christian Watson ran into the end zone for a deep touchdown. They kind of similar. It's just a corner not really sticking with his guy in cover 3 and the safety not really also maintaining coverage on a deep guy. That's problematic, dude. If you look at the way the Bears were lining up and giving the appearance of pressure coming from one spot and then sending guys elsewhere and catching the Lions as though their ankles were tied together, like their own ankles and the ankles of other players in a chain. Like what the Packers did looks a lot like what the Bears did. This will be the book on the Lions now. 2 teams just showed you what to do to give the Lions fits. Better teams will use this template because neither of these 2 teams are good. The Lions beat one of them. They did not beat the second one. Like, with that said, the Packers only got 6 points off of Goff's turnovers. And it's easy to give the defense a pass saying that if the offense turns the ball over 3 times and only scores 22 points, the loss is not on your defense. But the pass rush was non-existent again. The Lions had miscues in the secondary that left players wide open again. And like, I'm not going to get too deep into this without watching the All-22 because I have theories about what I'm going to see, but until I see with my face, I'm not going to talk about it. This was a game, frankly, that I didn't feel like talking about at all. Just these ones suck. I don't like doing them at all. I wish we had a post game so I could just let you guys call in and vent and tell you to calm down a little bit from the ledge that you might be on. Like at some point, the Lions also need to learn to utilize their speed before the fourth quarter when they suddenly remember that Khalif Raymond exists and has 4-3 speed. Maybe clear out room for him with JMO. It'll be a little farther downfield. Like, it's a 6-point loss in the end, but this game wasn't close. The Packers just beat the brakes off the Lions on Thanksgiving. But like, also, if you thought the Lions were going to go 6-0 in the division this year, you may have had the expectation set a little bit too high. Like, that doesn't happen a lot. Sweeping your division is a big deal. And the Lions, honestly, like preseason, we were all thinking like, maybe if Minnesota regresses, we might be able to take the division, but hopefully we just get a wild card and maybe make some noise when we get there. Keep in mind, this is still that team that you were thinking that about in September. And that's basically what they're doing, other than that Minnesota did their part of that. They regressed a little bit. So I guess in the end, like, they are 8-3. Everything's still okay. You know, it's not the end of the world. They lost a division game. These things happen. Teams lay eggs over the course of the season, but that's 2 in a row. They did not play well. Last week they pulled it out. This week they did not. If they play like this in the playoffs, it's going to be a repeat of the Baltimore game. And as far as clinching the division goes, the magic number remains at 5. For those of you who don't follow baseball, or live in countries where nobody follows baseball, which is basically everywhere but the United States and parts of South America, probably Central America too. I guess Asia also. Okay, so like, whatever. If you live in Europe, if you're European where nobody cares about baseball, we're African. Probably the Middle East too. Anyway, whatever. The magic number is the combined total of wins and losses that the team in the lead and the team chasing them. So wins from the team in the lead or losses from the team that's chasing them. Magic number is 5. 5 Lions wins or 5 Minnesota losses or any combination of those two things reaching 5, and the Lions win this division. That's probably going to happen. So that's the thought I'll leave you with. After a wave of negativity, everything's probably fine. But the Lions need to make it fine. See you on Monday.